It's Tattletale, America's favorite little toy sweeping the nation. He can eat. He can talk.
Tattletale.
He can even be brushed. Get yours today for $19.99 plus shipping and handling. That's $19.99 plus... Wait. Oh, fuck.
We love you.
Mascot horror is probably my least favorite genre of video game at the moment. With games like Garten of Banban and Poppy Playtime being as shameless as they are, I really have no care for these games. Five Nights at Freddy's was the beginning of a terrible, horrible trend that is still going strong to this day. In my last video, I said that I hated modern internet horror, and honestly, I don't think anyone could blame me. Anyone past the age of 12 would never find these games scary. They're all made so YouTubers can play them so they can get recognition and fan songs about them. It's also soulless and bland, and if you were to ask me what my favorite Mascot horror game was, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. That was until I decided to replay TattleTale. About a decade ago, on a channel I no longer use, I made a Let's Play of TattleTale. I bought the game purely for this Let's Play and never touched it again. It's funny because I don't actually remember even recording this video, and I guess it makes sense because I didn't even make it past the 3rd level.
I can handle my mom hearing me when I'm playing with my Tattletale, which is way too loud for its own good. I can handle everything, but not hide and seek with this piss-colored little fuckhead. Okay? Okay. I'm gonna end it right here, because this pissy hell... I'm too much of a pussy, okay? Please. Please. Okay? Okay?
I decided to replay the game recently because I saw a couple video essays talking about how great it was. And I was looking for a new game to play anyway because all I play is Overwatch. God rest my soul. But you know, I was hesitant because it's a horror game. And the last one I actually played was Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And I was so disappointed by that game that I never touched the genre again. The entire game, I was straight facing everything, just getting annoyed by the random bugs.
Oh, what? Whoa.
There is never a moment in any of these games where I am actually scared. So imagine my surprise when I realized that TattleTale is actually an incredible game. TattleTale begins by giving you a simple objective. Open your Christmas present early. It's just one simple sentence, but you learn so much. You're obviously a little kid and you're being a little shit by sneaking downstairs and seeing what you got. Upon opening your gift, you get Tattletale, the hot new toy sweeping the nation in the 90s. He can eat, you can brush his fur, and he can even tell jokes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Bananas are a good source of potassium.
You're hilarious, Tattletale.
After a fun night with Tattletale, you decide to wrap him up so you don't get caught by your parents. Sneaking back upstairs, you... Oh. Well, let's just ignore that. On the second night, there seems to be this weird rattling noise coming from the basement. How deep does my mom sleep? Oh my god. But upon further investigation, you realize it is Tattletale messing around in the laundry machine, and he wants to play a game. This is a good time to point out these bars. While it's a fun idea that Tattletale can eat real food and have his fur brushed, it turns out he needs these activities done pretty frequently. The battery life is pretty moderate, so you don't really have to worry about it all that much. But Tattletale gets really hungry and wants his fur brushed pretty often. Back to Tattletale though, what did he even want to play? The most popular game on the market, breaking vases in your mother's basement. Oh. Who's knocking on my door at 2 in the morning? Looking outside, you can just barely see some packages left at your door. You might think this is absolutely nothing and it's just in the game to scare you, but it's actually really cool. Later on in the game, you eventually start meeting other Tattletale models on top of Mama. These packages at your front door are the other Tattletales and Mama arriving at your house. I have to get you a treat?
Mama's watching. Give me a treat.
Shut up. Shut up. If you answer the phone on the first day, it actually plays this audio.
Hey, calm down.
On top of the jumbled garbage, you can clearly hear a distinct grinding noise, which is what Mama makes whenever she's hunting you. So my theory is that Mama killed the Amazon driver and decided to ship herself and her children to your house for whatever reason there might be. She might just be bored, I don't know. This is why Mama appears only on night 2 instead of night 1, because she physically is not at your house yet. She isn't some ghost or ethereal being that can manifest wherever she wants. She's a toy. A really dangerous one, but a toy nonetheless. It actually reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 because Springtrap isn't even in the game until night 2 because Springtrap didn't arrive at the building. I actually really like this idea. Instead of a tutorial, they just kind of throw you in the game with no threats and let you figure it out on your own. Night 3 is where the game actually kind of begins. It's the first night you can actually die. Mama is in the basement making a really annoying grinding noise. Mama's design is not scary, it's just basically a big fat Tattletale that can play music, and when you first meet her, there's a cassette tape next to her, so you play it and it tells you exactly how Mama can find you.
The children thought that Mama would never find them as long as she couldn't see them. Turn the page. But Mama could still hear the children. The pitter-patter of their little feet led Mama right to them. Turn the page. Then Mama found the children, every last one, and put them right back to bed.
Daily life of a YouTuber. If you've noticed at the top right, anytime you charge your flashlight or run, it makes this little symbol. Or if Tattletale makes any noise, if he says something or if any of his needs are not met. This is your audio meter. Anytime you're making noise, that little symbol will appear. And Mama really doesn't like it when you do that. Going back to the needs meter for a second, Tattletale needs to be fed, groomed, and charged at all times. If he isn't, he'll start making noise. And on top of that, if your flashlight runs out and you don't shake it to turn it back on, which makes noise, Tattletale will start screaming out of fear. Adding all these gameplay mechanics together makes a really stressful and intense experience. Most games can't really replicate that. For example, in Five Nights at Freddy's, the main philosophy behind the game is just to throw as many things as possible at you. All of this really just makes you stressed out and confused. The main fear factor comes from not knowing how to deal with these animatronics.
She is such a bad bitch though. I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even...
But once you figure out how to deal with them, the game just kind of becomes annoying. Tattletale tells you exactly how to deal with Mama through the first 2 levels. I'm gonna be honest, I don't find Tattletale scary in the slightest, but the gameplay loop is so much fun. It outdoes every single one of these other games. Going back to the actual game though, Night 3 is really just showing you the basics of Mama's mechanics. She'll go to whatever direction she hears a noise, and after a little bit you can hear an audio cue of her running away.
Alright. What the fuck? I'm not even being loud. At that point, you can either try to run away or use your flashlight again. I forgot to mention, if you look at Mama with your flashlight on, it will immediately turn off. So the best course of action is to either run away or hide, because if you don't turn it on soon enough, Tattletale will start screaming, making even more noise. You could also just kind of wait it out if you don't have Tattletale with you though. But yeah, that's the end of Night 3. But Night 4 is where the game really ramps up in difficulty. You're playing hide and seek with a different Tattletale model, each round lasting longer and longer. While Tattletale goes and hides, the lights will shut off and Mama will be on the hunt. You're given one objective: survive a certain amount of time. Even if you took care of Tattletale's needs right before the round started, during the later ones, you're bound to have one of them run out. It doesn't help that the other Tattletale said this: 1.5 minutes.
Hi, Mama. In the bedroom. Okay. Bye-bye.
Don't tell them where I am. That's really it for Night 4 though. The game ends with Night 5. You finally get to banish Mama from your house. You conduct a ritual to play a VHS tape backwards to banish her. But halfway through it, Mama runs in and steals all the candles, hiding them in vases. And all these vases make noises. Since the basement is such a small space, it is almost impossible to use your light in this area. You can maybe use it for 3 seconds before Mama will turn it off again. This entire night, Mama is on your ass. After finding all the candles, the ritual can finally take place, where Mama is banished for good and all the other Tattletales turn into boxes. And then after that, it's Christmas Day, and you finally get to open up Tattletale for real this time.
What? Oh. Never mind? Why did that happen? Well, if you were paying attention during the game, you'd notice that there's a lot of these random eggs scattered around the map. These eggs are just full of random junk items, but there are 22 of them. Some of them spawn or despawn during random events, so you really got to keep your eyes out for them. It's funny because Markiplier on his first ever playthrough got all of the eggs. If you collect all the eggs, you will get the good ending, where Tattletale is actually in the box. On top of that, you get a golden flashlight, which really doesn't do much, it just kind of looks pretty, and your parents finally answer the door. And yeah, that's the game. Tattletale is a tiny game. Most playthroughs would realistically only last about an hour to an hour and a half. Even if you include the DLC, that maybe adds another 45 minutes of gameplay. But that's what I really like about this game. Tattletale is a tightly made, fun, and stupid adventure. There's no real explanation why Tattletale seems to be conscious and why Mama wants to murder you. The ending of the Kaleidoscope DLC is just this.
Me love you.
There's no complicated or annoying lore in this game. There's a little story to the game, but it's not enough to actually warrant a huge game theory video. Tattletale is one of those horror games that is in the same vein as Baldi's Basics. I unironically like Baldi's Basics. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously. Even if there are scary aspects, it's a joke and will always be a joke. It puts fun first instead of trying overly hard to be scary or adding lore that doesn't make sense. There are scary aspects of Tattletale. That's kind of the majority of the game. But there are moments that point out how dumb this whole concept is. The entire Kaleidoscope DLC is basically just a big joke. The majority of the DLC, Tattletale is talking in this dumb monotone voice while saying lame jokes. Okay.
It's me, Tattletale.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Butterflies are old caterpillars.
Okay.
C-A-T spells a word.
You're not going to tell me what word? Everything about Tattletale is the opposite of what Mascot horror is. It doesn't waste your time like Five Nights at Freddy's, and it doesn't randomly spike in difficulty to get you stuck on one night for hours. And unlike Poppy Playtime, it wasn't released in separate episodes to squeeze more money out of you. Tattletale was made by people who clearly care about just making a video game. They were definitely riding the Mascot horror wave, but Furbies have always been kind of creepy, so I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's has much to do with this. They treated the Mascot horror genre in the best way they possibly could. They didn't do something so shameless like the Hello Neighbor devs, where they basically begged MacPat to make a video on them. Playing Tattletale reminded me of that little kid, the one who made that first Let's Play all those years ago. It reminded me why I liked Mascot horror in the first place. It takes something cute and innocent and makes it terrifying. As a kid, I went to Chuck E. Cheese every single birthday, but after Five Nights at Freddy's came out, I never stepped foot in that place again. And because of things like Tattletale, I never wanted a Furby, even though I thought they were really cool. I don't give a fuck that it's a girl's toy. These things are awesome. A good horror game in this genre does exactly that. Games like Garten of Banban and Poppy Playtime would never make a kid scared of everyday objects. The reason Five Nights at Freddy's and Tattletale worked is because they were things that everybody knew about, and they twisted them into something scary. What the fuck even is Garten of Banban? And what is Poppy Playtime? Gigantic stuffed animals and weirdly low poly creatures? And what am I even supposed to be scared of in games like Hello Neighbor? Should I be terrified of my weird neighbor that has a funny mustache? If a kid was watching a Tattletale Let's Play, or if they were actually just playing the game by themselves, if their mom got them a Furby, they would throw that thing in the garbage. Tattletale is what all Mascot horror games want to be. It's funny, it's a lot of fun to play, and it doesn't waste your time. And that's why I think Tattletale is the greatest Mascot horror game ever made.
It's right on our butt cheeks, isn't it?
It'd be a windy day outside, ain't it, guys? It's
The
right-
wind's
it's
coming through the
right-
fucking wall.